Okay, dear students, welcome back. In our last lecture, we dealt with this particular topic of claim of compensation by workmen, wherein we understood this thing that a workman may claim a compensation if the employer is not giving him the due consideration of paying the compensation. Then he can file a case in the civil court or he can file a case with the WC Commissioner under this Workmen Compensation Act that we are dealing in. And secondly, we have understood that either he can file a case in civil court or he can file with the WC Commissioner. He cannot file the case at both places. And secondly, either WC Act is applicable to an organization or ESIC Act. ESIC Act we shall be doing later on, right? Now, Employee State Insurance Act, there are certain conditions of applying it in those kind of organization where it is applicable. There WC Act is not applicable. And where WC Act is applicable, there ESIC Act is not applicable. So based on this, workmen can call for compensation either under WC Act or under ESIC Act. This thing we have already done. Now, for some definitions, however, we will be doing some definitions later on also, right? First of all, Commissioner means WC Commissioner appointed under Section 20. Now, these are legal definitions, and they are to be quoted as it is written. So, workmen compensation is a commissioner who undertakes all the compensation cases relating to workmen, and a workman may approach his good office for settlement of his claim under this act. Now, coming to the second definition, that is your dependent. So, there is a long list of persons. There are three categories. Now, dependent means that, for example, there is a family and the head member, let's say father is working, and let's say there are two kids and a wife. So the two kids and a wife, they are his dependent. There can be his mother, father, depending upon the size of the family, right? So as per the definition, it says a widow or a minor or an unmarried daughter or a widowed mother. So they are to be termed or taken as legally dependent, right? दूसरा है a son or a daughter who has attained the age of 18 and who is infirm. मतलब 18 साल में मेजर तो हो चुका है, यानी कि वो एडल्ट है, बट इनफर्म यानी कि हैंडीकैप है, तो उसको भी डिपेंडेंट की कैटेगरी में रखा गया है. सिमिलरली अ विडोवर, जैसे वाइफ की डेथ हो गई तो मेन जो मेल होगा वो विडोवर होगा. अ पेरेंट अदर देन द विडोड मदर, ठीक है, विडोड मदर के अलावा कोई पेरेंट हो, ठीक है. माइनर इलेजिटिमेट सन, ये भी डिपेंडेंट की कैटेगरी में आएगा अगर वो माइनर है. अ माइनर ब्रदर और अ अनमैरिड सिस्टर, ये भी डिपेंडेंट में आएंगे. और साथ ही साथ पैटर्नल ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स, ठीक है, दादा दादी हो, नाना नानी हो, अगर वो साथ में रह रहे हैं तो उनको भी डिपेंडेंट माना जाएगा. नाउ स्टूडेंट, यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाई यू आर लर्निंग दिस definition of dependent. Because, for example, the person dies and his compensation is paid. Now, this compensation will be given to the people, those who are the dependent of that particular person. So, it is very important to identify these cases. So, this is a very exhaustive definition which covers so many relationships which are to be taken as dependent. Next, the definition of employer, section 2, subsection 2, further subsection E. It is read like 2(e). This section is read like this. It includes any body of person, incorporated or not. Body of person means association, whether it is formed as a company or partnership or any association of person. They can be taken as employer. Any managing agent of an employer, for example, somebody is appointed as a manager of a factory by the owner. So that person who is acting as a manager here means who is controlling the overall affairs of the, let's say, factory. So that person will be taken as a employer. However, the owner may be some different person, but since he is managing the things on ground for a factory, so that person will be taken as a employer. And third is legal representative of a deceased employer. Deceased employer का मतलब यानी कि the employer has died. So now the question is who will be taken as an employer? Their legal representative on behalf of that employer who has died. They will be taken as a legal representative. Now these legal definitions have legal fallouts which we will discuss in times to come. So all in all, we can say an employer, it can be a association of person, incorporated or not. If it is incorporated, it means it is a company. If not, then it is an association of people like partnership or any other association or society under which it is running the business. So they can be taken as an employer. Secondly, any person acting as a manager on behalf of the employers who is taking care of the overall affairs of the company or the factory, he will be taken as an employer. And of course, if the employer dies, then their legal representative will be taken as a employer, right? It is also written definition of the term employer also includes a contractor also. This we can discuss somewhere else. Now coming to the main, that is disablement. Now what does disablement means? Loss of capacity to work or to move. This is the legal definition कि आदमी की काम करने की क्षमता में गिरावट आ गई या एकदम नहीं रही, उसको हम डिसेबलमेंट कहते हैं, या वो मूव नहीं कर सकता, इसको डिसेबलमेंट बोला गया. नाउ डिसेबलमेंट में रिजल्ट इन लॉस और रिडक्शन ऑफ हिज अर्निंग कैपेसिटी. किसी का हाथ टूट गया, पैर टूट गया, नेचुरली इंजरी हो गई, एक्सीडेंट हो गया, तो नेचुरली उसकी अर्निंग कैपेसिटी पे फर्क पड़ेगा. तो डिसेबलमेंट से इंसान की अर्निंग कैपेसिटी पे इट इफेक्ट्स द अर्निंग कैपेसिटी ऑफ द पर्सन. दिस इज द मेन थिंग दैट यू हैव टू लीगली अंडरस्टैंड. That somebody gets injured, ultimately there is a percentage formula whereby we determine that how much loss of earning is there, 50%, 100%, 20%, depending upon the nature of the injury. किसी का हाथ टूट गया, किसी की उंगली टूट गई, किसी का पैर टूट गया, किसी की एक आंख खराब हो गई. इंडस्ट्रियल एक्सीडेंट होते रहते हैं. So accordingly we determine legally the percentage of loss of earning capacity, that is disablement. Thus, he is not able to earn as much as he used to earn before his disablement. This is the main thing कि disablement से पहले यानी इंजरी से पहले जो उसकी अर्निंग कैपेसिटी है और इंजरी के बाद उसमें फर्क आ गया, इसमें गिरावट आ गई. So in all, these aspects are covered under your disablement. I think the point is clear to everybody, students. Now moving to the next, किस तरह की disablements हो सकती है, आगे जाके इसको हम कैलकुलेट भी करेंगे. Now disablement, it can be partial or it can be total. 4 combinations हैं. Or it can be permanent or it can be temporary. तो इन चारों को मिला के ये 4 aspects बनते हैं. Partial disablement, temporary partial disablement. Partial disablement जैसे आपकी उंगली में चोट लगी या अंगूठे में चोट लगी तो आपके काम करने में फर्क पड़ेगा, partial है. Temporary partial का मतलब है कि थोड़े समय के लिए आप डिसेबल हो गए. मान लीजिए हाथ में चोट लगी, पट्टी बच गई, अब आप ढंग से काम नहीं कर सकते. सो दैट इज योर टेम्पररी, बट वो थोड़े समय 2-4 दिन बाद वो ठीक हो जाएगा. उसके बाद परमानेंट पार्शियल डिसेबलमेंट. मान लीजिए उंगली कट गई, पार्शियल तो है, उंगली बाकी बची हुई है, अंगूठा कट गया, तो नेचुरली इट इज अ परमानेंट पार्शियल. टोटल हाथ नहीं कटा, खाली अंगूठा कटा, बट वो परमानेंटली कट चुका, वो जुड़ नहीं सकता, तो नेचुरली उसे क्या बोलेंगे, परमानेंट पार्शियल डिसेबलमेंट. और चौथा क्या है, परमानेंट टोटल डिसेबलमेंट, यानी कि जिसमें 100% लॉस ऑफ अर्निंग कैपेसिटी है, दोनों पैर कट गए, जिसमें कई कैटेगरीज है अभी आपको विच आई विल शो यू लेटर, दैट द पर्सन इज टोटली डिसेबल, नाउ ही कैन नॉट वर्क एंड देयर इज 100% लॉस इन हिज अर्निंग कैपेसिटी. सो सच अ पर्सन विल बी कॉल्ड एज परमानेंटली टोटली disabled, permanently disabled person. We will move on to the next lecture. We will continue it further.